Here in Indiana, there's already a law that prevents same-sex couples from getting married. But this goes further. This would be an amendment, a state constitutional amendment. And it's very hard to remove an amendment once it's put in place. So basically, they're saying that only a man and a woman can get married. And then the second sentence says that anything similar would not be legal either. So that would include domestic partnerships, civil unions. So that affects the straight community because there's a lot of couples who live together on a long-term basis who aren't legally married. And that would affect them. That would affect seniors in that same type of situation.
We've had Carlos for 4.5 years. When you go through a state agency to make sure that the child has an appropriate home, they have to come in and they actually look at your home, they make sure that it's safe. They talk to us a lot about our own family backgrounds, how we were raised, what our parenting styles would be like.
References.
Yeah, we had to provide references. You know, when Carlos came to live with us, he'd been through a lot, you know, with going through different homes. You know, his whole life changed when he came to live with us, and in a lot of really positive ways, but he needed additional support. So we made the decision for me to kind of leave my career on the table for a little while, spend a little bit more time at home so that I could take him to a school that was right for him and pick him up, and you know, so that we'd have more flexibility to, you know, be available to transport him here and there. At the time, we were seeing, you know, doctors that we needed to see on a fairly regular basis. So I made the choice not to pursue, you know, a job outside the home. And in a sense, you know, I really become very dependent on John's benefits that he had offered through domestic partner benefits at his work. But you know, in a sense, we're penalized for that because we end up having to pay for every, you know, taxes on everything that I end up needing.
I mean, for me, not being able to be married is every time you look at a form and it's like marital status, and I just hate having to check single. You know, it just feels like you're almost there, but not quite.
Like the first time I saw them, I knew that they would be the one that I would choose because they treated me like I was their own already. They treated me like I would have been, like part of the family before I even met them.
You know, I've lived in Indiana since 1998, and I've lived in 2 other states that have passed constitutional amendments against gay marriage. And I really feel like Indiana is smarter than that. I don't think, you know, Indiana is the kind of state that would be willing to actually use the Constitution to restrict rights. You know, the Constitution are designed to, you know, increase rights and make sure that equality happens, not to actually make things less equal. And so I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a very Hoosier thing to do.
They're not weird or anything. They're the same as just regular couples. Like, I haven't changed or anything since I was little. I haven't changed anything. I still have my own beliefs. Like, I'm Catholic Christian. I still agree with them. I love them. It's like they take care of me, and they make good food and everything. I'm living the life.
We met in college out in Philadelphia. She was getting her degree in elementary education, and I was getting my degree in biochemistry. And we bonded over Cubs games in the lounge downstairs. We would watch the Cubs games on the big screen, and we were friends for a couple years, and then we became a couple. and we've been together 22 years.
22.
And 4 years ago, just about 4 years ago, we eloped to Iowa and got married.
My view of marriage is it's a committed, loving relationship. That's how I view marriage. It's a monogamous, religious, committed relationship.
Between two consenting adults.
Between two consenting adults.
I get really upset with when the religion part comes in, and now they're trying to say, well, it's not really religious. Well, yes, it is, because you go to the definition of marriage, and usually you fall back to religion. I'm a minister. I have a Catholic spine, I say, because I grew up Catholic. I respect freedom of religion. If your religion feels that our marriage is somehow sinful or an abomination, if that's your religious belief, I am not about to change anybody's religious belief. But when you try to make your religious belief into law, that's a whole nother ballgame for me. I don't want anyone's religion, any religion, to dictate, what goes on in any state. So when our lawmakers try to make one view of religion or one view of Christianity or whatever into law, that's just alarming. That should alarm every citizen.
What they want to add to the Constitution has a line in there that anything resembling marriage. So even our domestic partner benefits, which we have right now from Lily, is really important to us because her job doesn't have health care, they would be invalid. They would no longer be able to offer those, and that's huge.
I think that when you have a family and people build a life together, they should have legal protections. And you shouldn't deny that to certain people. It's not good. It's not good for the people involved. It's not good for their children. It's simple.
I think eventually it'll destroy some families. People feel like that they will feel that they have to leave the state because they can't enjoy the same rights they could in another state. And so it'll force family members to leave.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. I think that our economy would do better if we recognize same-sex marriage and that people deserve equal protection under the law and marriage equality. I mean, we look at some of the high-tech industries the legislature likes to talk so much about. You're not going to grow.
Right.
Yeah, you're not going to attract talent and grow if you take a whole segment of the population and make them feel like they're not welcome here or wanted here, or they're not going to be treated fairly here.
So we have an incredibly diverse workforce in Dow AgroSciences. Dow AgroSciences is a company of 8,000 people. We've grown from 5,000 people to 8,000 in the last 4 years. We've hired people from all over the world. They live in 100 different countries, so diversity is our name. We have business everywhere. Specifically here in Indiana, we've got a global headquarters with nearly 2,000 people. This is our headquarters where we recruit people from all over the world and all over the US. So we want diversity. Diversity of thought is a business enabler for us, and really mean that. That's where we bring innovation, that's where we bring different solutions for the agricultural world. And that's what we are doing. Dow AgroSciences is an agricultural business. We focus on agriculture, and science serving the needs of the growing world is our mission. We want the same rights for everybody in the company. We want to offer the same programs to everybody so that we can attract the best talent that we can to come and work for Dow AgroSciences. It's a tough world attracting talent out there. We have to attract talent from the other agrochemical companies and the other great businesses around. We need to be able to attract them with the best package possible. It's really tough to recruit in today's world. Because in the biotech business, there are 0.9 candidates for every single job that we have out there. It's a competitive situation, and we have to do everything we possibly can to attract the best and brightest to Indiana and to work for Dow AgroSciences. Our business is growing, we're feeding the world, we're working in world agriculture. It's something I'm very passionate about, and we need the best we possibly can. We need to take away all possible barriers that take any level of diversity away from attracting to our workforce.